I can remember, I've been drawn to nature. When I was little, I would often find myself outside in a pile of mud or sprawled out in a field of grass without a care in the world. When I was stressed or overwhelmed or got a bad grade or if I was in trouble, you knew exactly where to find me. Now, recent studies have shown that exposure to the natural world around us can actually elevate our mood while soothing stress, enhancing our physical health, and improving cognitive ability. Do you ever wonder why students in classrooms with windows perform more efficiently? Or why patients staying in hospital rooms with a view recover faster? Or why you feel significantly better when on a vacation? Because nature has always been the primary link to balancing our well-being. In this interview with the American Psychological Association, Dr. Lisa Nisbet, a psychologist at Trent University, said that there is mounting evidence from dozens and dozens of researchers that nature has benefits for both physical and psychological human well-being. She explains how even those in urban environments can experience the vast array of positive outcomes nature provides. She says you can boost your mood just by walking in nature, and the sense of connection you have with the natural world seems to contribute to your health and overall happiness. It's no surprise that the importance of our connectedness with the world around us is being more frequently recognized for its impacts on humankind, one of which being our psychological well-being. According to the World Health Organization, mental health is a state of well-being in which an individual realizes his or her own potential, can cope with the normal stresses of life, can work productively and fruitfully, and is able to make a contribution to his or her own community. With this being said, when one can't meet this description, they might be suffering from a mental disorder, such as anxiety, bipolar disorder, or depression. Research shows that being in contact with nature can actually reduce the risk of developing these illnesses and relieve those struggling with them. The presence of green space in urban areas has actually been revealed to actually play a huge role in soothing the stress and helping individuals cope. Now, what is green space? Green space is essentially exactly what it sounds like. It's an area of green, trees, shrubs, vegetation in an urban environment. Green space can range anywhere from a public park to a common household plant. A study was done in Denmark in 2019 where a group examined data from more than 900,000 residents born between 1985 and 2013. They found that children who lived in neighborhoods with lots of green space had a reduced risk of developing psychiatric disorders later on in life, such as depression, mood disorders, schizophrenia, eating disorders, and substance use disorders. For children with the lowest exposure to green space, the risk of developing mental illness was 65% higher than those who had lots of green space. Now, this is not to say that mental illness is strictly decided upon by how much green you were exposed to as a child, but science does say that it is a factor. The trend is the same with adults. For example, in the UK's Shetland Islands, doctors have been prescribing exposure to nature to soothe anxiety and depression with bird walks and beach walks. The term, I need a breath of fresh air, is commonly used when an individual is stressed and needs a moment to think to themselves. I know I have used this term many of times when feeling compressed and overwhelmed. Taking a step outside, even for a minute, can significantly decrease the amount of stress hormones being produced, therefore boosting the mood of an individual. Stanford put on a study where two groups walked for 90 minutes. One group walked on a busy street and the other in a grassland area. The researchers did brain scans before and after, and the results showed that neural activity in the subgenual prefrontal cortex, an area of the brain commonly associated with chemicals that trigger depression, decreased among the participants who walked in nature. Being present in nature benefits our mental stability and health. It has the power of regulating our emotions and balancing our overall well-being. Studies are also being conducted on the effects nature has on our physical health. Exposure to the environment has been linked to higher physical activity, lower heart rates, and even decreasing the negative impacts of pollution. Vegetation has been discovered to buffer exposure to air pollution by removing ozone, particulate matter, and removing carbon monoxide from our air. Cities have even gone as far as installing vegetative buffers in areas that have high risk for air pollution. Vegetative buffers are strips of dense trees and shrubs that are used to filter or block air pollution. They're commonly placed between a polluting source and areas of high risk. such as daycare facilities, neighborhoods, public parks, senior centers, and family neighborhoods. Science shows that nature improves the quality of our air, which directly impacts us by ensuring what we breathe in is actually healthy. In fact, nature's cleansing of our air has been linked to improving our cardiovascular function. Exposure to air pollution and to metals in the environment have been proven to contribute to the development and severity of cardiovascular disease. Vegetation, however, has the ability to lessen pollution, which in turn reduces the risk for cardiovascular issues. Now, let's take a look at another unfamiliar word, biophilia. This is a hypothesis that suggests that human beings have evolved over time to have an affinity for nature, plants, and living things. This is basically saying that we have become more and more connected and dependent on our environment to survive. Throughout generations, even in more primitive times, humankind has turned to nature for answers. And because of this, nature can be seen everywhere in our society. It can be seen in our architecture, in our homes, in our jobs, and even in our schools. In fact, nature has been found to play a major factor in the educational performance of children. Australian researchers asked students to engage in a dull, attention-draining task where they pressed computer keys when certain numbers flashed up on a screen. They had one group pause for 40 seconds in the middle of the test to peer at a flowering green rooftop, and the other group, a dull concrete building. To no surprise, the students who saw the green rooftop made fewer mistakes and performed 55% more efficiently. Nature scenes not only alleviate stress, but also improve our cognitive function and enhance focus. Presence of green space has been shown to improve concentration as well. The attention restoration theory holds that nature replenishes one's cognitive resources, which restores the ability to concentrate and pay attention. Nature may even have the capability to assist individuals with attention deficit disorder, or ADD. Researchers at the University of Illinois found that 20 minutes in nature, or green therapy, helps reduce unwanted symptoms of adult ADHD. One of the reasons why green therapy works is because when you and your brain are in a relaxed place, your voluntary attention decreases, which is what you are trying to focus on, like stress, and your involuntary attention moves to the front of your brain, which allows your brain to rest and relax. Being outside is like a balm for our hectic minds. Every time you experience a bit of nature, your body is reacting and changing, from soothing stress to decreasing depression hormones to restoring cognitive ability and improving cardiovascular function. Nature continues to baffle scientists with its endless benefits. Nature allows us to let our inner child shine and balances our minds, bodies, and our hearts. All of this goes to show that nature truly does nurture humankind. Thank you.